Hey everybody, and welcome to Epic Everyday.
It always startles me. Go ahead.
I don't know why. It's not like...
It's too early, I guess.
Okay. Anyway, I'm Liz First. This is my husband, Evan.
Hello.
Who's constantly startled.
Well.
It's my overwhelming beauty, right? It's just...
Yes.
Right.
Beautiful voice just bursting forth.
This week we are going to actually do something a little bit different. Normally we run through each of the CSCs each day of the week. So on Mondays we talk about calm, Tuesdays we talk about being surrendered, Wednesdays we talk about being centered, Thursdays we talk about being connected, and Fridays we talk about being complete. But this week, we decided to devote the entire week to talking about calm. So today, we're going to talk about not even realizing when you're stressed.
Yeah.
And then, since we talked about before how anxiety is kind of the opposite of calm. And tomorrow, we're going to talk about when you're too stressed to deal with your stress.
Yeah, that's a big one. On Wednesday, we're going to talk about when you don't have enough time to be calm. And on Thursday, we'll talk about not understanding the benefits of being calm, which, stress is such a way of life. Maybe we don't even consider what's on the other side of that. And then we'll talk about some practical steps on Friday to get to calm from the busy and from the fray and the verge and all these other places that we don't want to camp out in.
Although I'm 98% certain we'll end up talking about some of those practical steps throughout the week.
Yeah. We won't have that much suspense the whole week.
Yes. So today, talking about not realizing you're stressed, why do you think that happens, honey?
Oh, well, I think it's because we think we can handle it, I guess.
Yeah.
I was thinking more about the evidence in my life, like when I think I'm doing fine and like I go from 0 to 60 stressed in like just a second. That doesn't mean I just became stressed in that 1 second and now I'm in freak out mode.
Right.
It means I was already stressed and I didn't even know it.
Right. You just needed a straw to break your camel's back.
So I guess yes, and I wanted to get to that too because I love that phrase. But I think, so your question, why does it happen? Is that what you said? Why?
Yeah.
I think it's...
Because, it seems like how can you be too stressed or how can you not even realize you're stressed?
Yeah.
Like,
I think what it is because we're so focused on circumstances. So, like an example for me might be, this will happen often on the weekends or something where it's like, oh, today's going pretty great, And then one of the kids is inconsolable for some reason, or maybe you've got to lay down or something. Like something will bring the sense of overwhelm just crashing down.
Right.
Or anything can derail
the day.
The cat could get sick.
Yeah, that's what we're dealing with right now.
And that's no fun.
So it's like building a house of cards. You have each card meticulously laid, and you're like, sweet, this card looks awesome, and look at my house. And then one wrong card, and the whole thing comes tumbling down.
Yeah.
So I think if we're just used to building with cards, we don't even realize that it's not a good building material.
That's a good point.
That's something that I got when I first started Tai Chi. One of the things our Tai Chi instructor talks about is how if you don't know what relaxation is like, you also won't recognize stress. And I, at that point in my life, had just been so stressed all the time.
It was a way of life.
Right.
Like you were saying, yeah.
Yeah. It's like boiling a frog. Every day your stress level goes up a little bit more, but it's incremental and you're used to it and you don't even realize you're in hot water.
Yeah. Well, and then isn't the idea of slowing down appalling?
Yeah.
Is that another red flag, I wonder? Where if somebody were to be like, here's a vacation on the beach with just you and a book for a week, and you're like, no.
I don't have time for that. I've got too many things.
Right, the world will fall apart while I'm gone.
Yeah, totally. I actually was having relaxation-induced panic attacks when I first started Tai Chi because my body was so used to stress that, I would try to relax and my body would consider that a threat because I would stop paying attention to the threats around me. Mm-hmm. And that's a dangerous thing to do, so it would throw me into a panic attack.
Yeah. I wonder, because I've heard of that with other people too, but I wonder if nobody's experienced that before. Like, what are some other ways that they can tell? Because I think this happens to everybody, but maybe they don't have a panic attack, but they're gonna.
Well, I think like you were talking about the straw that breaks your camel's
Yeah,
back. If it's a little thing that suddenly you're like,
sure. It's
ah, this is
disproportionate to the
right,
little thing that just happened.
right, exactly.
Yeah,
Or if, and kind of along with that, we've talked about this before. You know, if your schedule is in such a way that if one thing gets off, the whole thing falls apart, and you're just like trashed the rest of the day. I mean, that's a pretty major red flag right there.
yeah. Some of these sounds like to me have to do with being too busy, which we've talked about a lot, and I think we'll
Yes.
continue to do it. But I mean, because yeah, then there's no wiggle room, and
Right.
so if something disrupts something, then yeah, instant stress. That's for sure.
Right. And I think, you know, sometimes I like to talk about this when I talk to people about addiction. Like sometimes you don't really, like the addiction is the flame, and then you have the
Mm.
inciting event, which is like a piece of tinder, you know, which could be something as simple as somebody cut you off in traffic or something, you know. But the problem is what's underneath all that stuff. It's the coals that are the problem.
Yeah,
So, depending on what you've got going on in your life, I mean, you could have unresolved stuff that's been hanging around for years that's just part of that. You're just used to carrying it. You know, we get so used to carrying our
we get
baggage.
used to
So,
yeah, and everybody's used to their thing, whatever it is.
right.
It's really hard to see it when you're in it.
Yeah, definitely.
That the phrase "straw that breaks my camel's back." I didn't look up when this movie came out, but I think it's from the 70s. And we love this phrase. But it's from a movie called What's Up, Doc? It's got Barbara Streisand and Ryan O'Neal as the two romantic leads
It's
in it.
awesome.
Yeah, it's really funny if you can track it down. So, and I think this is a perfect example of that. The guy in there,
Howard Bannister.
Howard, right? He is a guy who has his routine down and his life's together and he's engaged to be married and everything's going great and he's in a
So,
competition to get the scholarship.
yeah.
But you find out, like once he meets Judy, the Barbara Streisand character, that it's an illusion of control because
Yes.
this woman he's going to get married to is the control freak and he's not happy with her, but he's such a pushover that he's just
He lives with it.
yeah. And then he gets to his breaking point, and that's when he says, "You are the plague. You are the straw that breaks my camel's back." And he says that to Judy.
Yes.
And I just love that. You have this, and I think that's us, right? We're, especially on Sunday morning, or whenever we go out, we're like, yeah, things are fine, whatever. Like, fine's, we always say fine. But
Fine has variable definitions.
yeah, I mean, in that movie, this woman is a complete whirlwind, and she, for some reason, fixates on
Yeah.
him and just destroys his life.
Well,
But
she's not trying to destroy his
no,
life.
she's
but-
actually bringing him freedom.
Right. She's just destroying his carefully ordered everything,
Yeah.
you know.
And right, and so I think we're closer to the edge of that than we realize. I mean, like
Yeah.
if the power was out for a week, or these people in Texas and Florida now, they've been flooded out and stuff. I mean, that's a pretty big disruption, and then
Yeah.
that's a major stressor. That's enough to give somebody a panic attack all alone, and then you stack that up on whatever was going on in their life before that,
Right.
and it's a mess. So I think, and I don't know, this could be a red flag or just something to consider to try to find some of those red flags. But like if we're the person that's saying everything's fine and it's not, and we don't even realize it, that's a lie. We're lying to ourselves at that point,
Yeah.
and that's a big problem.
It is a
So
big
it takes
problem.
honesty
Yeah.
to get out of just to realize what if you're stressed to realize it or not.
Right. And I think the hard thing is denial is so seductive. Like, it's so nice to live in a world where everything is together and it's not nearly
yeah.
as bad as it seems. And so it's so easy, even if it's not flat out like lying to yourself, like, somebody says, it's really a problem if you can't move your schedule around, and you're like, no, it's not. It's totally fine.
Mm-hmm.
I live this way and it's fine. That's one kind of denial. But another kind is just to not even, every time the problem comes up, just be like, shut down that line of thinking. Force yourself to think about something else. Distract yourself with media, distract yourself with, whatever else. Your to-do list, your
Sure.
house cleaning, your dishes, your kids, your,
So at that
whatever.
point, on some level, you realize that there's a stressful thing coming. I'm going to avoid it now. But your more conscious self, you may not know that that's what's happening.
Yeah.
So yeah, another indicator for someone trying to explore this could be, do I find myself eating half a thing of ice cream every night? There's probably something going on.
Right.
I mean, there are vices that are socially acceptable, and then there's the ones that are not, but they all kind of are doing the same thing.
Right.
They're helping you get away from yourself.
Yes, definitely. So if we're trying to inject some calm into the I don't even know that I'm stressed situation, one of the things that I was thinking about, which I kind of started saying earlier, is the idea that you try to find relaxation. And sometimes the only way to do that is to try to find your stress. Like in Tai Chi, we do this thing where, our Tai Chi instructor will say, now we're going to relax our shoulders. Okay, everybody, tense your shoulders as tight as you can.
Yeah.
And so you tense them up super, super tight, and then you relax them. And then you can feel the difference. And it's always fascinating to me to see the people that they come in so tight and they don't even realize it. And then after our instructor does that exercise, you can see them relax past what they had before.
Yeah.
So, maybe if you are like, I can't tell the difference between when I'm stressed and when I'm not stressed, you could try just thinking, make a list of everything you're stressed about or that's potentially stressful. And I've done that before, and when I write everything down, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so stressful, Yeah. Of course, from there, there are things you can do to inject calm,
But yeah, if you're like, yeah, I don't think I'm that stressed, write down all the things you're going to try to get done this week.
Yeah. Or just write down anything you might be stressed about, anything that's even just mildly stressful, even if it's not really that stressful. Just write them all down and then look at it. And if you start feeling like, okay, yep, I'm stressed and I didn't even realize it, then you can start trying to fix the problem. But until we can recognize that there's a problem, we can't even fix it. So, and if you make that list, one of the things that I like to do is just go through and cross off anything that I have no control over.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And that's where I was going to get into. Like, when we find ourselves in that spot, we're trying to be in control of everything.
Right.
And that's an impossible place to be in.
Or even just things that you have no control over, because it's someone else's decision.
Yeah.
You can't really do anything about it until after they make that decision, which is really frustrating and stressful. But you almost have to just take it off your list and say, I'm going to worry about it when it happens, which kind of leads me to my next point, is to be aggressive about being in the present. And one of the things that I get really stressed about is either hanging on to things in the past or hanging on to the things in the future. Yeah. It's like this is everything I have to get done this week, instead of what do I have to get done right now, or even what do I have to get done today if I want to, kind of project into the future. But when you look at a list of everything you need to get done this week, it's overwhelming, or this month, or this year,
Yeah.
You can project pretty far. So just being aggressive about what is happening right now. How do I be here right now and not out there?
Yeah. And that's a kind of faith. I mean, to trust in God's providence that you're where you need to be now. He's in control of the universe. And so you're here now, and that can be an act of faith to focus on that moment and not get too far ahead of yourself or not be too lost in the past.
Definitely.
And it takes practice.
Yeah. Anything else, or can I wrap?
That's it.
Okay. All right. So hopefully you guys will come back throughout the week if you want to work on your calm. I mean, everybody, let's all admit, in our American society, we're all kind of on the verge of stressed or else super stressed. We all need a little more calm. I'm sure sometimes our podcast is going to feel repetitive because we're talking about the same thing over and over again. I mean, this week we're just talking about calm for an entire week. But part of the reason we do that is because we need those reminders all the time.
Yeah. We need those reminders too. We're talking to ourselves a lot here, and we hope that it's something that benefits you as well. And we really appreciate you listening.
We've definitely, the CSCs we've applied to, I think, pretty much every area, or at least every area we've applied the CSCs to has helped. So we love talking about this stuff. So hit us up with any topics that you have, and you can always join our Facebook group if you're interested in finding people who are passionate about being calm in the middle of the crazy. If you guys have a chance, if you haven't already, subscribe, review, and share it with people if you found it helpful. Thank you to everybody that has done those things. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, and for the people who've given us feedback, thank you for that too. It's really helpful. And like I said, we're trying to do this for the body of believers.
Yes.
And so that's why we're putting it out there. We hope it and pray that it's beneficial.
All right. We love you guys. Have an awesome Monday.
Yep. See you later.
Bye.